And what I'm going to do is I'm going to engage you in a quick conversation. And it's funny, I'm going to ask you exactly the same first question that you asked me. When did you buy your last car? Okay? So I want you to play the role of the customer, and I'm going to go through a quick conversation about the new dealer pricing model, if you will. I'm going to talk about what's in it for you, and then I'm going to quickly transition back to what you're here to do, and that's to look at the new Outback. Okay? All right, Michael, before we get started, and I know you're excited, and I'm excited too, when's the last time you bought a car?
Approximately 10 years ago.
Okay, 10 years ago. Michael, when you bought that car 10 years ago, I want you to hark back. Did you have to negotiate with the dealership or the car salesman or the manager in order to get yourself a fair price?
No.
You did? Tell me why.
Because I bought it from a dealership at the time in which I worked for.
Okay.
So it was a very unique situation.
True. Would you guess that most people, when they buy cars 4, 5, 6, back to 10 years ago, had to negotiate with the car salesman in order to get a fair price?
Certainly. Yes.
And how do most people feel about that? Do they like it?
No.
No. As a matter of fact, they hate it. You know, people say they hate buying cars, but they really don't hate buying cars. They hate the negotiation process to get to the final price. They hate that aspect of the purchase process. And you know what? I quite frankly don't blame them. And Michael, I'm going to tell you, a lot has changed in 10 years. In fact, a lot's changed in the last 2 or 3 years. And all the changes that have taken place are great for the consumer, and that would be you. And the changes have taken place, Michael, for the reason most changes do take place. They've been forced upon the industry. They just weren't forced upon Subaru of Gwinnett. They've been forced upon every retail car dealership in the country who's trying to do any business at all. And what's changed is the pricing model. It used to be that when someone would buy a car, if it was a new car, they'd start at MSRP. If it was a used car, they'd start at a very high price for the used car. A negotiation would take place. Quite frankly, a head-butting, gut-wrenching, time-wasting negotiation, but it's the way everybody did it. And sooner or later, they would arrive at a price that the customer was satisfied with and the dealer could live with. And then they'd go on their merry way. That doesn't take place anymore. In order for us to get you here today, because we weren't the only Subaru store you shopped, were we?
No.
No, you probably looked all around like a good consumer should. You have done your research, you've done your homework, but for whatever reason, and I'm going to guess 3 of the reasons are: A, we had a vehicle that you're interested in looking at, correct?
Yes.
B, you didn't have to travel 6 or 7 hours to get here.
That is also correct.
And our price had to be pretty doggone good, if not the lowest, certainly right down there with the lowest, right?
Yes.
Here's the big difference between the way it used to be and the way it is today, Michael. Today, Michael, the discount you used to have to fight for, you get before you ever set foot on our property. Michael, if we don't deeply discount our vehicles, our phones don't ring, the email inboxes don't fill up, and nobody shows up. It's a new day. And what this means to you is this purchase process is going to be your most pleasant ever. It's also going to be the least stressful, and it's also going to be the fastest, because the discounts that you consumers used to have to fight for, you don't have to fight for anymore, Michael. You get it before you ever arrive, because if you don't get it, you don't come. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Let's go take a look at the Outback, make sure it's the right vehicle, because today you can have a blast and you can focus on the most important thing, and that's making sure the vehicle's right for you. Okay? Yeah, click it off.